Hello, everyone. I wanted to share my book and the papers that I've published. And here they are. Well, here one is. It is Goblin Grimoire. You've probably seen me talk about it if you follow me on Instagram. And this is what it looks like. But I wanted to say that if you received this version, considerably larger and glossy, this is not glossy, uh, you got a bad copy and you need to return it. And they'll send you this. This edition, I mean, you can keep it if you want, but this edition features artwork that is like shrunk down, really small, instead of being like full page artwork. Each of those images should be like a full page, and then it also features a page of artwork that is completely scrambled and makes the captions unable to be read. So I would definitely return it unless you just jive with it to get the correct version. Um, Anywho, this is my book, Goblin Grimoire, Magic and Lore from the Outcast Fae, because goblins are an outcast fae. And in it, it's a very easy read. And in it, I outline, let me turn to it and show you, what the definition of a goblin is. That way we're all on the same page. And then, we talk about why work with goblins. We talk about the goblin history, like how goblins have been viewed in history and in folklore. And then I give you goblin stories, which are just a couple stories from, around the world of goblins. These are like old fairy tales. And one of them is actually by Charles Dickens, so that's fun. And then we talk about goblins today as they are applied in popular culture, like in modern fantasy films and literature and games. And then I give you a goblin genus and a neo-goblin genus. In the goblin genus, what I do is I break down the different types of goblins that you no doubt have heard of if you have looked into goblins. So we talk about the hobgoblin. We talk about the cluricon. We talk about the bugbear, which here in the South we call a boogerjack. And we talk about the red caps, the ratmen, the kappa from Japan, and other Asian countries. And then in the Neo Goblin genus, we talk about goblins that I myself have come across over my many years of interaction with goblins as a warlock, a pagan, and as a magician, right? I've come across several different kinds of goblins, and I've categorized them for you in here. I didn't want to like overly complicate those entries, and you'll see that they do have space on each page because I want you to be able to really use this as a grimoire. My goal was to create a book that could be added to by the reader, by the owner of the book. I wanted you to be able to personalize it. So, example. So, at the end of entries of certain types of goblins, I left lots of blank space. That way, you could add your own thoughts and experiences after you interact with those goblins. That way you would have it all in one good space for you to come back and reference. I wanted this to be an all-encompassing spell book and magical resource about goblins. That was really important to me, just even for myself to have that. Also, I do include tips on how to build altars to the goblins, but again, I left it very open ended. I didn't want to dictate to you this is how you build an altar, because that would be insulting to your intelligence. You already no doubt know how to build an altar if you're buying this book, and you already know the basics of magic. So you'll see throughout the book, I don't explain any kind of foundational material about how to cast spells or craft rituals or anything like that. The book assumes that you already know how to do those things. So, in that sense, this is not a 101 magic book. This is for a more advanced practitioner. That was important to me as well because there's just so many intro to magic intro to witchcraft books out there, and I wanted to provide something different. I also include a selection of spells, of course. It wouldn't be a grimoire without that. Uh, and also a couple of recipes for food and drinks that are inspired by my time with goblin spirits. I really like the way it turned out. I'm really proud of it. It's my very first book ever. Of course, looking at it now, I see, flaws in it and things that I would change or add, and that will be present in future books that I write. But it's a learning experience, and I'm really proud of myself. This is something I've always wanted to do since I was really young. I've always wanted to just be a writer and to, especially particularly, publish a book. And I'm really happy that I finally did. It is available in a paperback. It's also available in a hardcover. And there will be an ebook version of this coming by the end of this year, I hope. So stay tuned for that. But also, and really, please give this a shot. I think you'll like it. Also, I did publish a couple of papers or essays, and those are also available. And all the links will be below. And that is, as you saw on the thumbnail, there is one called Magic. That is a paper that I wrote a year or 2 years ago now for school, which recently graduated. That's why I'm a doctor now. Like, yay. But that is a paper that I wrote about an intro kind of to magic, talking of intros. But it is presented as an essay, as a paper, a school paper, not as like a book with any form of narrative or chapter. It's a paper. It's a published paper. But I would encourage you to check it out. It is also available in a physical print, but also in an ebook. The other two papers that I also published are only in ebook because they would just be too small to really put into a book. But yes, there's Magic, which is a collection, specifically healing magic, a collection of like descriptions and ventures into the different ways that magic as a spiritual practice has permeated all the world's religions and philosophies. So if you're someone who already knows about magic and the foundations of magic, when you read it, it will really come across more as like constant book recommendations because every single paragraph in the paper has an excerpt from a book about magic. So I no joke, I would highly suggest reading it just for the works cited page, where I give you a huge selection of books to read about magic, specifically healing magic. Also, I published the paper What Happens Next, a metaphysical examination of the afterlife. I really liked writing that paper as well. And again, if you already have your own ideas of what the afterlife is, this may challenge those a little bit, particularly if you have a Judeo-Christian or even Muslim view of the afterlife. I really go in on the history of the afterlife in that paper and where some of the origins come from and the different types of afterlives. And again, every paragraph has at least one book referenced, like quoted directly. So again, a huge listing of books there for you to further your research yourself into your own journey with the afterlife. And then lastly, I published a very short form essay that I kind of wanted to put out as a PSA about a topic that I'm really passionate about, and that's warlock as a word and as a title. I am a warlock. I'm a goblin warlock. I'm also a moon doctor, which is a deep south folk healer, and I will be writing something about that very soon. And I'm excited for that because it's highly personal. But yes, a warlock. That short form essay, it is very short. So if you want to read it, it is available as an ebook on Amazon, and it's actually free if you are a member of that Kindle Unlimited. Otherwise, I think it's like 99 cents or something, or $2 or something like that. But anywho, it gives you a history of the word warlock, its usage in ancient, well, not ancient times, but in Middle Ages and on. And then also it gives you the etymology, the potential etymologies, two of them, of the word warlock, and then its usage today, and then how I use the word. So it is a crash course on warlock, the history of warlock as a word, so that no one can ever come for you again and say, why are you using that word? And you can say, because it actually, this is the history of it, and this is what it means, not what you've been told. It's not just Oathbreaker. And also, it may never have been. And also, if it is, this is the specific oath in which it means to be breaking. And it's not what you think, I promise. So I would really suggest reading that as well. Anywho, thank you so much for watching this video if you made it all the way through. I really do appreciate it. I really do. And you can find me on Instagram. That's linked below as well. And you can also find me on my website, alabamamagic.com. Thank you so much, and goodbye.